Greetings, dear friends. Welcome again on Allatra TV Middle East. And today is again an amazing day. And we have today with us an amazing guest. And today I will be co hosting together with Alina. We are both from Dubai. Hi, Alina. How are you
Hi,
today?
Serge. Very good. Thank you very much. We just finished a very interesting interview with the ambassador of Japan in
Oh, wow.
India. And guys, very soon you can watch this interview on Allatra TV main channel, Creative Society. So just a short teaser before we start our interview. And yes, I'm very much inspired to have today's interview because we have a very special guest today with us. It's Nari Kaur, and Nari is an empowerment and successful coach from England. Hi, Nari, how are you?
Hi, both. Yeah, I'm well, thank you. And it's great to be here with you both today.
Thank you for accepting our invitation. And I would like just to tell our viewers how we met. I don't know how you came across Creative Society project, but we met after you registered on allatraunites webpage
Mhm.
and you joined the project and you clicked the third option to join the project and to participate actively. So thank you very much for being a part of our team and for an opportunity to build a creative society together. And yes, just to start with, I would like maybe to ask you how you found information about Creative Society project. Why did you join?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually came across you guys online because I happened to come across an interview that somebody else was doing. And I just listened to a bit of it and I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I carried on listening and I really liked the concept and the topics that were being discussed. They really hit home with me. So I went online, I searched you on Google and I just read what you guys are about. And it, like I said, what your movement, your platform, it kind of really resonated with my principles. So I had a look at the options and I thought, yeah, why not? I'd love to do an interview with these guys and get to know people who are already part of this community. So that's how we connected.
Thank you. Great story. I always like to find these connections, like it's
Yeah.
always interesting how people meet, right, Serge?
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
very interesting. Like they say, like not coincidental coincidence, right? Because for some reason you came across this link and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe you can share as well. I'm sure our viewers are interested to know a bit more about you, like why you exactly chose England to live, and maybe uh, what you mentioned about your principles, that creative society as well resonated with your principles. Maybe you can mention about that as well.
Yeah. So a little bit about me. I am from the UK, so I'm born and bred in the UK. And I actually come from one of the most multicultural cities in the world. It's actually called Leicester in the UK. So I've been around diversity kind of all my life, and it's kind of the norm for me. And what I do is I run a coaching business which is based on empowerment and success coaching. So that's really working with individuals to help them to transform their lives with mindset transformation using psychology, personal experience, education, empowerment, and helping people to reach a place in their life where they're thriving rather than just surviving. So going for some goals and really achieving them. So a lot of my work is about working with people to get them to the place where they're literally living the best life that they can live, being the best version of themselves, kind of actualizing their potential in reality, and going for their goals rather than just settling for a mediocre sort of life. So with the Creative Society, I really saw that the principles that we'll go into in obviously we're going to go into the 8 principles a little bit later in the interview. It's all about having that very sort of all-encompassing society, having togetherness, treating everybody as one and equal, and giving people respect, love, compassion. These sorts of things they're what I'm about. They're who I am, and they're what I like to see in other people as well. So that's kind of briefly why I was attracted to your platform.
Thank you. That's amazing. And what inspires you in your work, in your job? What inspires and gives you motivation to continue?
Oh wow! So overall, it's about really seeing a change in other people, seeing a positive change, making a difference to people's lives, using my own knowledge, my own education, my own experiences to then coach other people and to see them in a better place than when I found them. When they come back and say to me, you know, you've made this difference, because of you I've achieved this or that. I mean, it's not really because of me, because obviously the person has to take the action themselves, but like to work with me, that gives me a lot of happiness. I mean, generally, kind of the work that I do, it's to help people to speak up, to speak for themselves, to empower them, to basically go for their dreams, go for their goals, and not restrict themselves, not hold themselves back, not live a kind of limited sort of template sort of based life. Because a lot of people are stuck in a shell. They have ideas, they have thoughts, but they don't necessarily go for them out of fear. So it's really about getting a bit away from that fear-based mindset to like a more empowered mindset, so helping people to come out of their shell, and you know, go for the stuff, encourage them to get out of their comfort zone and to develop a growth mindset. So I believe transferring out that onto the creative society, it is about getting people out of a fixed mindset based on limitation and restriction into a growth mindset, which is about acceptance, about love, about values, about understanding. I think they're the main basis of people developing into the creative society and living by those principles. So yeah, all about creating change to start with, and then embracing that change with ease, and
This is
having
not.
a network of people to understand them and support them.
You mentioned a couple of times about love, and I really
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, what is true love for you in the highest sense of this word?
Oh wow. So yeah, there's lots of different forms of love that we all aware of, right? But generally, at the highest level, love for me is about connection, um, between all human beings. It is also connection between humans and the universe. So with nature, Mother Nature, you know, the earth is a beautiful thing, and learning to connect with that, we get so much healing from earth, and basically seeing everybody as one, because that's what we really are. We are one, regardless of what color, what race, what country, what culture, what background. We're all human beings. We all have the same basic needs, and you know, we are literally the same. So being able to see us like that and connecting with people without judgment, and not disregarding certain groups, without hierarchy, without power dynamics, that to me is ultimate unconditional love, seeing everybody as one.
That sounds
Beautiful.
amazing. I like how you described it really, and every point that you mentioned is it's really so much important today. We are living in the very strange and very special times with a lot of threats, but at the same time a lot of opportunities and a great chance for
Yeah.
us people as humanity to evolve, to really make a big evolutionary stage to our beautiful future where
Yeah.
we are all united, we live as one big family, and we know that all people in the world want it, because during the 9 years the participants of allatra international public movement have been conducting millions of social service and interviews, and we know for sure that all people in the world want to live in a beautiful and peaceful world. They are happy, they accept it, that
Yeah.
they feel secure. And I know that you had a chance to study the 8 foundations of the creative society society, and we wanted to talk to about them. Please share your vision, your opinion
Yeah,
about the importance.
absolutely. So I just had a quick look at the 8 principles. So I'll just go through them if that's okay in terms of my take on them. So yeah, I'm going to go through them one by one. So for me, human life is all about seeing everybody as one society, respecting each other and having compassion for each other. We have one life, we have one shot. So it's about making our lives the best we can make them. So getting away from things like hatred, jealousy, comparison, status, power dynamics, hierarchy. It's about living in harmony and creating a peaceful coexistence for everybody living together. And there's a really beautiful thing about that, because we can all coexist with all our different cultures and bring new things to the table. We can all learn from each other. So rather than hating and comparing and putting people down, we are beautiful together with our differences. So human life is about that for me, creating oneness and respect for human life. Number two for me, human freedom. So yeah, freedom is about having human rights, having choices, people being able to have the opportunity to express themselves, their opinion, their interpretation of knowledge and theory, without anything kind of restricting or stopping them, obviously within reason. So human freedom, I think it creates it enhances creativity and imagination, right? If you're not restricting people, they're able to come up with new things, new ideas, new concepts, and that makes us more productive. So the opposite of human freedom is, if you look at it that way, is control, suppression, protecting people's insecurities, and it's restrictive. And that doesn't really get anyone anywhere. That's in if anything, that suppresses people, and it reduces that imagination and things that can come out of being creative. And number three is safety. This is absolutely paramount. I think everybody needs, or everybody has like certain human basic needs, and everybody deserves to have them met, like food, shelter, personal security, access to resources, and economic security as well. Without that, again, people are separated. Some people have more than others, basically due to power and control. And if you think about it, something I looked up on was there's actually 670 million people in the world living in poverty at the moment. And that's something as basic as having access to clean water, which when you look at that statistic is really, really sad. But is there enough? Is there enough resources to go around for the world? Yes, there is.
Of course.
But as a world, what have we created? We've created a society where there's a huge proportion that don't have access to that because of the superiority of a few, about creating the segregation and the separation. So some, like they say, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. There's nothing really fair about that. So human safety is absolutely important. And I also believe that once people have their human safety needs met, then they can go on and do great things. If you haven't have your human safety needs met, then you can't be as creative as maybe you would be. You can't unravel a talent maybe that you've got and take it to the mainstream, because you can't be the best of yourself without having those basic needs met first. So they are an absolute must. Transparency and openness. So you probably heard the term, don't believe what you hear on the news or what you read in the papers. So why is that? That's because of sort of manipulation of information, influencing people for political agenda. And the opposite of that is honesty, openness, truth. Giving people the right information so they're able to make an informed decision based on the truth and knowledge. And everybody deserves to have the same information that is true, rather than for the advantage of a few select people rather than the majority. Yeah. Number five, the creative ideology. So this is about creating and encouraging passion within our, our community. Again, freedom of expression, promoting individuality. As individuals, we have so many different things to bring forward, and by doing that we learn from other people, which is such a beautiful thing. That creates development in our society and opportunities for others, and it promotes both individual and collective greatness. Yeah. So it allows us to see the world and perceive the world in new ways, to get away from sort of hidden patterns. So it's like an ever evolving society with new ideas, new concepts. And that's really interesting, isn't it? Rather than suppressing and controlling people. So number 6, development of personality. Again, this flows from the previous one. I love this. Giving people equal opportunities, access to the same resources, education for all. That then gives people the opportunity to be the best individual that they can. And it all starts with us as individuals. If we conquer our own minds, if we have self-belief, self-love, then from that point we can give others the best version of ourselves. And if everybody was doing that, then it would be a beautiful, a much more beautiful place to be in this in this world. And I was just thinking that, imagine how many people haven't realized their potential because they haven't got access to those resources and needs. So there must be so much hidden talent out there that we don't know about because people haven't got the same opportunities, and that's a real shame. So it's about creating a society where people are encouraged to go and fulfill their dreams, achieve their goals, getting away from like a fear-based society, getting people out of their comfort zones and making it less restrictive. So and new opportunities, and also allowing everybody to have access to the same opportunities as well. It's not like these opportunities are only available for this group of people and this group of people have no access. That doesn't work either. So it's really a culture where we're promoting people to bring out the best version of themselves and thrive on their differences rather than hiding them away because they're scared or fear of anything, like hierarchy or structure within any society. Number 7, justice and equality. So this is really important with regards to having no hidden agenda. Again, we should have, this is really big for me because I love equality. Everybody should have access to, for example, equal pay, regardless of their passport, regardless of their gender, their race, their religion. Again, getting away from that control-based culture. So this promotes helping people to feel respected. Everybody wants to feel respected. So rather than treating people like, like a group of people like puppets and giving respect to another group of people, I mean, it's not fair. And people feel that, they realize that, and then that promotes a negative behavior, because if people don't feel like they're treating equally, then there's going to be some kind of backlash to that. So creating some kind of communal respect across society, and again, like promoting the truth over a lie, and everybody's justice system is aligned. So it's not one rule for one person and one rule for another. So people can't get away with things, and that is coming about even in the UK a lot, where people maybe before with money, power, status could get away with things. And now things are coming out, and people are expecting people, whether they've got money or not, to have the same justice system as somebody who's from a less fortunate background. And equality, as being a woman, I have to say, having gender equality as well between men and women in society, in workplaces, education establishments, having the same level of opportunities, so we can, like I said, realize our potential and be the best that we can. And that brings me on to the last one, which is a self-governing society. Again, getting away from the kind of power struggle society, power dynamics, and creating equality for the best interests of all. One common goal in society, and creating that love and that compassion is everyone's responsibility. So it's not just a few people, everybody's responsibility to live by those principles, and creating a social structure based on being one, not separation. So we're stronger in numbers rather than going against each other. And that comes from compassion and empathy for each other and respecting each other's differences as well. So that was my take on the 8 principles.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Nari. That's really interesting. And I like how you mentioned about the creative potential of each person.
Yes.
So I'd like to ask you, once in creative society, we build such a conditions of comfortable life for everyone,
Yeah.
and once science and healthcare and all the spheres will serve for human, and the human life will be a top priority. So what's your vision? What we as humanity can achieve once we unite together in that creative potential that we all have?
Yeah, amazing. So I just think that, for example, if we all have the similar sort of values, right? So we have those values of basically being a good person, being honest and respecting and supporting each other, then as a society, it will be just a lot more interesting because people will listen to other people's point of view. People will learn from those point of view as well, and it promotes evolution of our minds, of our thoughts, of our opportunities. I just think as a society we would become a lot stronger, and the things, the new inventions that are coming out, the new opportunities that are coming about. I mean, I'll speak about mental health, for example. The fact that it's now being openly discussed, whereas before it was a taboo subject, that means there's a lot more survivors. That means there are a lot more people coming out of it stronger and better and recovering from that and doing a U-turn. Yeah. So in the same way, if we're getting away from suppression, power dynamics, hierarchy, if everybody feels respected, then they're going to be encouraged to come forward, to step forward and say, hey, I've got this idea. I know you guys are willing to listen. So what do you think about this? Because they won't be scared anymore. At the moment, I think a lot of people are living in fear, so they hold back. And I see this a lot of times with my clients as well. And I always say this is a very interesting concept for all of us, to imagine yourself at the end of your life. What conversation is that person having with you now? What do they want from you now? So being the best person that you can be for your future self. Yeah. And if we all look at it like that, imagine how much society could develop and evolve. Because a lot of times people have these agendas, and later on in life they kind of have that regret, like, oh, why did I hold on to that separation, that hatred? Why it wasn't really important to be dominatory. They think it's important when they're younger, but later on they realize the value of life, and it's too late then, because now when people are younger, they have so much power, they have so much influence, the ability to speak and make a difference. So if our youth have, for example, that confidence and that self-esteem to go and get the things that they want, and they're not scared of other people's opinions, judgments, they're not scared of a specific social structure that's going to hold them back, and everything's equal, then automatically people will be much further up the scale in terms of being that best version of themselves. And if everybody was doing that, then it's like we'll be living a brand new sort of a dynamic in society. Everybody would be, I would say, the word emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is very, very important, and it's underrated as well. Like we can have all the qualifications in the world, but if we haven't got emotional intelligence, there will be some kind of block that will hold us back, right? So if we have the intelligence as both psychologically and emotionally, then there's kind of an unlimited society. So I love that.
It sounds great. Sounds great. Nari,
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for the presentation of 8 foundations of the creative society through your experience and through your vision. And for me, today's broadcast is an amazing example. It's a model of how we can really then we meet the information about the creative society, and then we first are introduced towards the 8 foundation of the creative society, how truly we can leave them in, let them in, and really see myself in a society there they are really implemented, and really understand that by implementation of each of them we create amazing conditions for every person to flourish, to really become who we are, to become creative, constructive. And that's an amazing potential. As you mentioned, it's amazing potential for the future of everyone. And thank you so much. Also, it's tough, and we listen about what is happening in the world around us. And you mentioned today mental problems of people. That's understandable. Depression is internal prison, but how can we stay happy? It's you have to be brave and wise, to really stay always positive in the current conditions. And the unity of people is crucial, because we can help each other to overcome through this period together. So
Just
yes.
a concluding comment, I would just say I second what you say there, and it is literally power in numbers. So the more people that come on board with these sorts of philosophies, right, because people want to feel like they're part of something, they want to feel part of a movement, right? So we're stronger in numbers. So the more that is promoted, whatever's going against it, that just starts to diminish. So we want to bring it up, make it more powerful, and get the message out there, get people finding out about it through marketing, promotion on the media, which is what you're doing now, which is absolutely amazing for bringing people on board.
True.
True, how you
Eventually,
mentioned,
yes, eventually we all want to live peacefully, and if this is what all people want, then everything that is left that we unite and build the world that we really want.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and as you mentioned, these times that now we are just starting to talk to people about it. The project is very young, and we started actively to talk about creative society, and many people started to join since May 11th, 2019. So it's relatively young project, a young movement. But I'm looking forward to the moment, as you mentioned, the majority of people will want to live in a creative society and actively supporting the project. Then those who don't support the project will be in the minority, and then we will clearly understand these are people who don't want the humanity to be happy. And we are not afraid anymore to talk about what we want. It's so much important that people start to talk about what they want, how they want to live, because by discussing already these topics, we are building our future. We are opening up our minds towards what we as society can build and what every person deserves, because we all deserve to be happy and to live happily, because happy generation will bring up a happy future generation. That's for sure.
Yeah, so true. We gotta discuss if what we want to see in the creative society. We gotta speak up our vision. Don't be silent and don't be neutral. We gotta take care of our future and the future of our kids. If it's our world, we are people. If not us, then who will do it for us?
It's really, really important, like you say. This is such a big thing about speaking up, having the courage to speak up for something that you believe in, right? And spreading the message, because so many things don't happen because of fear. Fear is such a negative sort of emotion, and to break that fear. And once you get started, there's kind of nothing stopping you, because you start to realize actually there's lots of people that have the same vision that previously haven't spoken up. So it just creates that initial instigation to get more people to say, hey, me too, and me too as well. Like there's so many people that start to join and, fall in love with that movement.
Mrs. Nari, we are as well using actively the six handshake theory in spreading the news about creative society. And thanks to the modern technology, it's not even six social connections, it's even less. All people around the world maybe know each other via two connections or even less. Like you found out us watching the stream, and here we are. So I
Absolutely.
wanted to ask you, maybe you have someone that you would like to invite for our next conversation, or maybe you would like to be as well a co-host with me or Alina or other participants of Creative Society Movement.
Oh wow, that's amazing. I wouldn't mind being a co-host. It's great, like as Alina said at the beginning, to get deep into these conversations to understand different people's perspectives and mindsets. Yeah, I do have a friend called Stella. She's from Italy, and she runs a business called Female Game Changers. And
So,
again, it is about helping women to have a voice and basically, fulfill their dreams. So I could nominate her and tell her about it, and I'm sure she would be willing to come on and give her views as well.
thank you so much. Looking forward to have Stellar as a
Yeah.
guest of our show and to see you as our co-host. Nari,
Wow.
I wanted to ask you, Whoa, we usually, during our shows, we don't stick too much to the profession of people. We mostly talk to each other as a member of the society,
Yeah.
human being. But today, having you as a guest of our show, I would like to profit and ask you, what would you recommend to our viewers? How can we overcome fears and these learned helplessness and really join the project Creative Society, become an active participant? How to make this step forward? What would you recommend as a specialist?
In terms of breaking the fear, initially, um, I would just say for people to just attempt to get out of their comfort. So literally try something new. Yeah. So allow yourself to get on to something different that you've never done before. Yeah. Because once you've done it, the feeling of doing that is amazing, and you only kind of want to know more. Also, I think that if there's like a trusted person that you speak to, then you've already got that assurance because you trust that person there, and if they're on it, you may want to get on it as well. So breaking fear is a very it's a difficult thing, but it's also a very beautiful thing. And another way to do it is envisage a time in the future, or scale up to kind of looking at what do you want, right? What do you want? What is your ultimate? What do you want to achieve? Everybody has a purpose, and it takes some people longer to find that than others. And then you break that down into what steps will actually get me to fulfill that purpose. What do I have to do, and what do I have to stop doing in order to get there? So then really analyze your current behavior, because a lot of people have a vision which is kind of further away, but they don't know how to achieve that vision. Yeah. So it's about working with the mind, understanding theory and psychological philosophy in terms of getting to a place from one place to the other. Also, looking back and thinking, if I don't do that, then what's going to be the impact on my future self? Am I going to be able to live with myself not having achieved that goal, or not having done that? And that's where people then embrace the moment and take the opportunities that come to them, because they don't want to. The worst place to be is regret. So in order to avoid regret, you take the opportunity. If it fails, then you've learned a lesson. You don't become bitter about it. It's fine. You've learned a lesson. But if it succeeds, that's great, because you've helped yourself, and then you can help another person as well.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thank you, Mrs.
We can
Nari.
count it as a wish to our viewers, because usually our last question for a guest is, what would you wish to our viewers? So we can count it as your wish to our viewers, Nari.
What do I wish for the viewers? I just hope that they obviously they've taken everything in. They understand that, like, this whole movement's coming from a place of love, compassion, and togetherness. And if people are feeling lonely, they aren't feeling understood, or they're feeling pressured by other people, whether that's culture, society, anything, work. If people are feeling suppressed, to know that it doesn't have to stay like that and things can change. And it's all about getting your power back, making yourself the most powerful person in your own life, listening to your inner voice and listening to your gut, because it's usually right. That is my wish, because to see people flourish and to see people achieve their dreams, I just think that's the most beautiful thing. And on the other side, to see people not do that, it just shouldn't be like that. It should be literally people coming, just speaking up for themselves. It's such a big step to do.
Wow,
Thank
you
you,
inspired
Mrs.
me
Nari.
so much. Thank you.
Dear
Thank
viewers,
you.
please listen to the advice of Mrs. Nari as a professional, and please join us on allatraunites website. You can find the red button join, where you need to fill out a very short and very simple form. You can choose your language, leave your email or maybe your contact number, and then you choose the form of participation you want, and the participants of Creative Society project will get in touch with you. And guys, it's a beautiful journey. Once you join, you'll realize that you suddenly have millions of friends around the world, that you have millions of relatives. And this is so amazing, like Mrs. Nari was saying, because in every corner of the world, you are wanted and expected, and everybody wants only good things to each other, because once each of us prospers, then together we prosper much more. Thank you very much for watching us, and please share our videos in social networks, invite your friends, tell to everyone about the Creative Society, because as soon as everybody knows, then together we can create it. And you can as well send your ideas of Creative Society to our emails, which you see now on the screen, info or ue@allatraunites.com.
Thank you, Serge. Amazing invitation. Thank you very much, Nari, for joining us today. I enjoyed this evening together, and I hope that our viewers enjoyed it as much as we did. And just before we finish our show, I would like to ask you a question, dear viewers. Most probably you belong to a religion by birth because you grew up in a culture. There you or people around you believe in prophets or in God's messenger who came to your country or to your region. And what was the message which they sent all of us? In which society did they want us to live in? How did they want us to treat each other? Did you ever think about it? If not, we are inviting you to join the global research on the platform of Creative Society in frame of preparation for the global conference on the 20th of March 2020. If you would like to be part of this conference or a research, please contact us. And just to give you a bigger understanding what we are going to talk about, we are going to talk about the world our prophets dreamt of. We are going to talk about the world in which a human being is supposed to live by birth, what is normal for us actually. And let's find out together what is this world, and let's unite in finding and collecting this information, and in preparing to present it to the world during the 20th of March 2021, the unprecedented conference, global conference on this topic. And I would like to invite you to watch a short trailer with us. Thank you again, Nari, for joining us today. Thank you,
Mrs.
Serge.
Nari.
Great
you.
questions, amazing evening together, and
Thank
very
you, Mrs. Nari.
inspiring.
Beautiful
you.
conversation today. Thank you, Alina.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Unprecedented event of present history. Initiative that comes from people around the world. Main project of humanity. People stopped being silent about urgent issues of our society, how it all started. May 2019, International Online Conference, Society, The Last Chance. 140 countries of the world, hundreds of thousands of people online, hundreds of broadcast platforms, translated into 7 languages simultaneously. If we all want to live in peace, why do we have a world of violence and destruction? It is up to us to build a different world. How can we do it? December 2020, Creative Society. United we can. 180 countries of the world, millions of people online, thousands of streaming platforms, 35 languages simultaneously translated. People have voiced today's reality and what they truly desire. And it is the Creative Society. All cultures have an image of the ideal world people want to live in. A world that prophets talked about. The time has come when we can make it real. How will we use this chance? Let's meet March 20, 2021, 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Time. International online event of global scale. Creative Society, what the prophets dreamed of. This is the day the world will unite to find out the truth, join the entire humanity, and spread